Hey guys, this is Blake with the Three Hand Hunter channel, and I have a special video for you today. Today, I'm showing you a bunch of Citizen Promaster automatic watches and something else special too, but these aren't my watches. These watches are brought to you by a fellow watch enthusiast that happens to be here with me right now. His name's Andrew, and these are out of his personal collection. And I actually have spent a lot of time with this special edition down here that I'll show you here in a few moments. And I really enjoy Citizen because I myself have collected some vintage Citizen watches in the past. Specifically, I used to collect the 520-110 reference, the old vintage ones that look like a Seiko 62 MAS. But I'm not going to talk about those today. But I did want to say thanks for stopping by. And if you like this type of content, you like these types of videos you're not going to see all the time on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like this type of content. I really do appreciate it as I'm trying to grow this channel to share with you guys the enthusiasm that I have about watches that I've had for over 20, 25, 30 years. So let's get to it. So this particular watch, the one that you see here, this is the more common Promaster NY0040 reference. This is the black dial version. It is probably the more common one, but also the one that Andrew had told me that these were also issued in the Italian Navy or some other military branches in Europe. Now, I also want to mention that I am not a know-it-all about watches. And if there's something that I say that you want to add to what I'm saying, or maybe I made an incorrect statement, please comment down below, because I'm not a professional when it comes, especially to Citizen watches. I've collected some over the years. I actually own a Citizen right now in my own personal collection, but I don't know everything. And so please, like I said, if you have something to add, we'd all appreciate it, myself included, as an enthusiast. All right, so this is the basic black version, and there are some differences between these. Now, I'm gonna pick them all up here, but this one, I actually spent some time with. Andrew loaned it to me for, I want to say it was a month or so. And this is the Fugu NY-0098-84E. And this one, out of all of them, this would be one of my favorites. Not because necessarily the color combination, but if you can feel the heft, there is a difference between these two, even though they look very similar. And I'll talk about the differences here in just a second. But I also want to reference this other one, which has probably the most beautiful dial of them all. And this is the NY0040-17. This is a blue sunburst dial. And if you guys can see that dial, I'm gonna bring it a little closer. Look at how beautiful that dial is, okay? Now, the thing about these, and I didn't clarify this about these Citizens, are the crystals. Now, the crystal, I believe it is a mineral crystal, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're mineral crystals on all of them, but it's gonna be very similar to like the hard Lexon that you would find on a Seiko. But what you're going to notice about these Citizens is there are some differences between them all. The biggest difference that you'll notice, well, let me go back here and just talk about the bracelets really quick on these two. All right, and Andrew told me that these two Citizens, they're the stock bracelets. Okay, but you can feel the difference between the limited edition. Feels like a very solid piece of metal. The stock one, to get this bracelet, you can see it's pressed, right? So it does feel like that Seiko flimsy bracelet, if you will. The clasp is a pressed clasp, as you can see here. Okay, it's cheaply pressed, but there's a little secret here. There's a diver's extension, which is really a neat feature. And you know, Andrew explained to me that getting an aftermarket bracelet, or getting the original bracelet, excuse me, of this one's about $60 US currently. And I found that rather interesting because it's just not as high quality as the one that comes on the Fugu. Okay, this is a much higher quality bracelet, double deployant clasp, but the links feel solid. And I believe these are solid end links, if I'm not mistaken. I had removed them at one point when Andrew loaned this one to me. Now, what you're going to notice, the distinguishing feature between these Citizens is the crown placement. The crown placement that's over by the 8 o'clock, whoops, excuse me, is rather unique. And it takes a little getting used to. I'm going to be, perfectly frank with you. If you wear your watches with maybe a 4 o'clock crown and you're right-handed, so you're used to extracting the crown, setting the time, it does take some getting used to by trying to do it with your left hand or flipping it around and then trying to adjust the time. There is an adjustment process. But the thing about having the crowns at the 8 o'clock position is they are out of your way. And when you're wearing it on your wrist, it doesn't dig into your wrist. And that is a really, a true benefit, I feel. Now, obviously, if you're a lefty, it's gonna wear like a 4 o'clock if you wear it on your, on your right wrist. But if you're a righty and you wear your watch on your left wrist, which I would say the majority of watch folks do, if you're right hand, you wear it on your weak hand, the wrist, you wear it on your left wrist, it is out of the way. It's just something that you might have to get used to. Also, what you're gonna notice is the dials are different. The handsets are slightly, I guess it's slightly different on the limited edition, and but the dials are different and the indices are different as well. They are all unique in their own manner, but I will tell you from just holding them, the three of them in my hand right now, the quality of the limited edition, it feels superior to me. Whether you're talking about the crowns, okay, the crowns feeling a little bit different, excuse me, you can see the knurling on the crowns are a little different. The bezel action, 60 click bezels, feel just a little bit more positive on the limited edition on the Fugu, but still really, really great watches. And if you're a watch enthusiast and you have SKXs, these are going to be very equivalent. They do have hand winding, but they don't have hacking, the movements. Now, one of the other things I want to mention regarding the Citizen watches, and they own Miyota, and Andrew and I were just discussing this separately, that they have Miyota movements, but Citizen has really focused more on their Echo Drive in their offerings of watches. They don't have as many watches that are automatic movements, but I'll tell you, these are really cool dive watches, and they're 200 meter water resist. They are, certified for diving. Andrew was also telling me because these are military grade, they are going to be a lot of them are going to be very, very well equipped divers watches. And one of the other things, as a person like myself, I like to shoot firearms, and I'm also prior military myself. When you're holding a rifle and you're holding a weapon in your hand and you're using both hands, if you're right-handed, your left hand is basically holding the, you're holding another grip, or you're holding the barrel, if you will. But having the crown at an 8 o'clock position keeps that crown from digging into your wrist. And that's also, if you're military, most people are right hand, the majority of people are right hand, they're going to appreciate the crown being on the left hand side on your non-shooting hand. That's just something that I'm just going to reference that just because, okay? Now, going back to the dials, I just want to show you how beautiful that blue sunburst dial is. And then here's the Fugu with more of a matte black dial, but blue bezel. And you can see the difference here. Notice the second hand and the red tip on that second hand, very beautiful touch with the limited edition. Now, one last thing I want to talk about really quick is the watch that I have on my wrist. This watch is another Citizen. It is not mine, but this is a more common Promaster BN00151-09. This is an Eco Drive, and it's a pretty cool watch. And this is one that you're going to find that a lot of divers wear. Sorry, I gotta focus that really quick. Great watch. They all fit really well. And I want to show you the dimensions of these watches really quick before we go, because this one, I believe, is a little bit bigger at 44 millimeters, but it's super comfortable because it's light, being Eco Drive. It's only 11.7 millimeters thick. And then we have these are 20 millimeter lug widths, 20 millimeter, okay? But if you're talking at your normal Citizen, I say normal. Normal's not the correct way to reference this. These watches are very unique, actually, in my opinion. But the Promaster, just your regular Promaster, is going to be more of it's about a 41 and change millimeter watch. Okay, the thickness on the automatic ones are going to run roughly about 12 to 13 millimeters. But I'm going to tell you, just like this Seiko SKX, they tend to wear a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to throw this one on my wrist really quick. They tend to wear just a little bit smaller. This wears like a 40. And by the way, my wrist is a 7¼ inch wrist. But you notice how removing the crown from the 4 o'clock or a 3 o'clock position, being over here at 8, is completely out of my way when I bend back the wrist, and it wears really well on my wrist. Like I said, it wears more like a 40 millimeter watch, and I can't say enough about it. It's super comfortable. If you can get past it not being hacking, like if you own a SKX 007, 009, or maybe an older Seiko Monster or something like that, and you don't care about the hacking movement, then these watches are really a great offering, and I think you should check them out. But guys and gals, if you've made it this far, then let me introduce myself. My name is Blake. I'm a watchaholic, admittedly. And if you're listening right now, I bet you are one too. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of this content. And I'll see you in the next video.